Jerry, thanks for joining us. Camp kicked off in such an emotional way Saturday as your team marched onto the field arm in arm with Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings and Chief Brown and members of the families left behind after the police shootings in downtown Dallas. What was it like to be part of that ceremony yesterday?
Well, Mike, like you, I noticed during the intense time how emotional you were about that tragedy, and this was so obvious about unity. I really have never been prouder of our team. It really shows the character of our team to want to and be the prime mover in getting it done, to make that statement of this is about unity. And of course, when Chief Brown talked to the team and Mayor Rawlings, it was just every sentence, every word was just grasped by our team, and everybody wants to do anything we can with the visibility of the Cowboys, and especially these players, how they depend upon unity to have success, and let that be some type of example to everyone about how unity is the important thing.
Yeah, it looked like it was quite a moment. Jerry, let's talk about your football team now. At the opening news conference, you wanted to stay positive, but when you have those three defensive starters beginning the year on the suspended list, does it change the way you will approach taking similar draft risks in the future?
Mike, here's the issue. We knew about those circumstances that ultimately involved those suspensions. And so we, from the get-go this spring, put our roster together with knowing that the possibility of having limited time from these players would be the case. This is no surprise. And so, frankly, we look at what they could bring relative to our plans as a bonus. And if in fact they do participate, and in fact they do contribute this year, it will be something that we don't build around. It will be a bonus.
I'm really asking more, Jerry, about taking a Gregory in the first place, taking on Rolando McClain, guys with those kind of risky backgrounds. Will it make you more hesitant in the future to take those kind of leaps with players?
No. When you can do that, it means that the core, the overwhelming numbers of players on your team are of the character that allows you to take some risk. You couldn't do those kinds of decisions had you not had a roster full of the kind of character that, for instance, was demonstrated yesterday. And so as long as we have a roster that is made up of the leadership of the Jason Wittens and the Churches and players like that, then that allows you to have an outlier and give that some consideration in a draft.
I am all for second chances. Heaven knows I've had a few myself. But why is Rolando McClain still on your roster?
Well, first of all, we, as you well know, something that dictates roster moves is salary cap. And salary cap is not about the dollars and cents as relate to your pocketbook. It's about having a dollar that you otherwise could use to get another player. And so that we have salary cap considerations when we basically take players off the roster. There are a lot of moving parts here. That's the chief concern. There is the cap position and our roster.
How good will your offense have to be this year to, possibly compensate for a defense that looks to be so depleted coming into this camp?
Well, I'd like to look at 2014. And that offense was able to really keep our defense off the field. That was our logic when we drafted Ezekiel. We think his addition, along with some healthy players, will give us the kind of offense that will allow the makeup of our defense to have less time on the field, give us better field position to make turnovers. When we do, they'll count. And so all of those things were involved in our selection of our off-season personnel or talent. And I think if you look at 2 years ago, that's where we're trying to get to. I'd like to be right back with where we were against Green Bay when Dez made the catch, as you know. I'd like to be there. Of course, I'd like to have a healthy Sean Lee. I'd like to have the kinds of players that we've got in camp right now on the field, then the talent level, and we win that game, in my view.
After the struggles without Tony Romo,
stop or to stop after that, the Super Bowl.
After the struggles without Tony Romo last year, are you confident that your backup quarterback is on your roster right now, the one that you'll go into the season with?
Yes, I am, without a question. Tony, we rested Tony today, and they gave, and we knew that we would be doing this, and so that gives those quarterbacks a lot of reps during our preparation for opening day, and certainly that lets us have an opportunity to see those young quarterbacks as well. All of that is our plan. That is our plan, and yes, our backup quarterback is on our roster right now, unquestionably.
Jerry, finally, as somebody who couldn't even figure out a way to get to training camp, I'm not sure I'm in any position to be asking you about retirement. But at 73, is it ever tempting to step aside and let Steven take all of this heat?
You know, I've been on vacation, and I've been getting to have the joy of my life for 27 years. Now, this is not work. And no, there's not anything that would tempt me to leave doing what I'm doing every day. And I'm excited because obviously we have some very competent people that have years of experience that have been really helping make the decisions for years, and they are here. But certainly I'm looking forward to being out there for any opportunities that we might have to compete at a high level for years to come.
Well, Jerry, wish we could have done it face-to-face, but thanks for keeping our training camp tradition going here from Oxnard. We'll look forward to seeing you at the Star back in Frisco when you guys get home. Thanks for your time.
Well, Mike, we have your bed made. Your sheets are turned back.
Okay.
We've got your spot out here, and I'm saving you a few, well, we won't talk about that.
Okay. All right. Jerry Jones, thank you.
A few cool ones.
Gotcha.
Okay.